Welcome to Health Club with Julia. I'm your host, health coach, and registered dietitian, Julia Campagna. I'm on a mission to bridge the gap between looking your best and living your life to the fullest. After years of over dieting, struggling with disordered eating, and destroying my social life, I finally found how to reach my dream physique without sacrificing the things I love. Now I'm sharing all my strategies and education with you. We'll be talking all things health, including hormones, metabolism, and lifestyle to help you cut out the confusion and start living. So get cozy and join the club. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the Health Club with Julia podcast. As always, I'm so happy you are here. Pausing. Oh, I don't know if the microphone is going to pick this up the whole time. Like, I'm speaking into my mic, so listening to it on like Apple and Spotify, you might not hear it as much. If you're watching this on YouTube, you are definitely hearing all the commotion going on. That is my cat. I don't know, and if anybody has a cat or a kitten, they've dealt with it. I grew up with cats. I had two, and I think I actually said this in one of my previous podcast episodes, like introducing my new cat, Eve. But when I got my cats growing up, my childhood cats, they were like, they didn't even open up their eyes yet. So like we brought them in, we rescued them, brought them in, took care of them their whole lives. Eve, I got it 6 months old, roughly. That's what the vets are thinking because she's feral. She was outside, and so I'm trying to like kind of domesticate her. And as you can hear from all this crumpling and all the running around, she's nuts. She has the zoomies so hardcore at times. Oh my gosh. She's just staring at me. She has the zoomies hardcore sometimes, and just the last 2 or 3 days, it's been absurd. And I recognize that she has this ball that has like a little bell in it, so whenever she runs with the ball, the bell jingles. Can't find it, don't know what she did with that. It's hiding somewhere in this apartment, but I have searched high and low, can't find it. So now she has this like ribbon thing, and it just makes all of that noise that you hear. So she's probably going to go crazy, and I'm hoping that it doesn't pick up too much to annoy you guys this entire episode. And I'm also recording a few episodes today, so the next couple of episodes might be like this. I hope not. This is one of the reasons why I can't wait to have a house, because one, more room for her to run around and play, and two, I'll have my own space, make my own home office, and be able to close the door and like not have any interruptions. But until then, we have to deal with Eve is crazy. If anybody has cats or kittens or rescued an animal from outside and you went through the whole like domestication process, let me know. I also do understand that she is a kitten, and so she has a lot of energy. I get that. So I'm letting her be, but yeah, she just swats at me, bites me. And she does cuddle with me a lot, but the last 2 days, I don't know, man, she has not cuddled with me, and she's just swatting, biting, going crazy. So that's current life. Anyway, I just rambled on for probably, I don't even know how long it's been already, 6 minutes probably or so, and I'm gonna get back on track with this podcast episode. So today I want to talk about my take on 2025 nutrition trends. There are always health and fitness trends out there. From Weight Watchers was really big a few years ago, Whole30 was really big a few years ago, Ozempic was 2024 craze, everybody went crazy about Ozempic, and I'm kind of seeing different trends happening now, probably end of 2024 into 2025, and I'm going to give my hot take on them. Do I like them? Do I not like them? Do I think that you should partake in them? I'm only going to label a few in this podcast episode because I could probably do a very, very long episode on this topic, so maybe I'll do a part 2 of this. But yeah, I'm gonna go over some of the ones that I have seen personally and my thoughts on them, and then also just my thoughts overall on trends and what you should be watching out for and doing on a consistent basis. So let's start off with a few. So one that I have seen more recently being talked about is a higher fiber diet. I actually do enjoy this one, and I say this because only about 5% of Americans meet the daily recommended fiber intake. 5%. That is super, super low. A lot of people are not hitting their fiber, and fiber is so, so beneficial for so many different reasons. Your overall gut health, bowel movements, excreting toxins out of your body. Like it's so beneficial for so many things. And your gut microbiome, like I could go on and on. Bacteria in your gut, like so many things. Anyway, we do not have enough of fiber. On average, and men and women differ somewhat, my podcast being primarily women here, I'm going to and always kind of do speak to the women's side of it, but generally speaking, for women, we want to have anywhere from like 25 to 35 grams of fiber a day, every single day. I think the average is like 12 grams of fiber, which is definitely too low, and this is, I think, due to having most of the American diet be filled with more processed foods. Fast food, processed food, packaged food items. We're always, as Americans especially, we are always on the go. We are always rushing through things. We are always wanting the convenient thing. So that's where all of these types of foods come into play. However, with all of these foods, you're not having a lot of fiber. Fiber is going to come mostly from whole grains. Fruits and vegetables are very high in fiber. Some fats are high in fiber. Basically, your whole food sources, if you had like your servings of fruits and vegetables and whole grains every single day, and that's how you ate, you're probably in the better range of your fiber. But for those who do have a lot of takeout and fast food and processed foods and packaged foods and things that are pre-made from restaurants and, you know, things like that, like I'm thinking pre-made food as in like the Starbucks stuff, you're not getting a ton of fiber with these foods. So it really does come from whole grain sources. So I said whole grains, whole food sources, I mean. So whole grains, fruits, vegetables, beans, and legumes are really great in fiber as well. So this is where you want to start off with getting your dose of fiber every day, is just incorporate more of these foods. You want to ideally try to get your fiber from real food sources first. Yes, there are fiber supplements out there to help you, and if you just cannot simply get enough fiber in your day, then I do say a supplement can be beneficial for you. But of course, just like any supplement, I would always recommend trying to get that food source from, or that nutrient from, food sources first, and real food. So that's that. Another really great thing that you can do to get in fiber in your day is have chia seeds. They are very high in fiber, and I feel like this definitely helps me hit my fiber daily. I don't have chia seeds every single day, but I definitely get my fiber in for sure when I have chia seeds. And this, especially if you're really under, now you don't have to go and have chia seeds every single day. I'm not telling you that you need to do that, but if you are very under in your fiber intake, this is a very easy way to get in more fiber, because chia seeds you can hide in quite literally anything. You can put them in salads, you can put them on your avocado toast, you can make chia seed pudding, you can put them in your smoothies, you can put them in sauces, like you can add chia seeds to pretty much anything, and so it will definitely help. And it's one of the ones that I'm recommending now, just because, again, the ease of it, and it doesn't really taste like anything. Like, you can put it in anything, and you're definitely getting closer to your fiber goal. So if you are severely under and you don't want to take a supplement, maybe start adding in some chia seeds to your diet, as well as the fruit, vegetables, whole grains, bean, legumes, and you should be okay. Also, we want to just have, I want to list out some of the like higher fiber foods that you can add in. So this is going to be, I labeled kind of the, what's the word I'm thinking of here? The like category of foods: fruit, vegetables, legumes, beans, whole grains. But I want to go over specifics, like what are some of the higher fiber foods that you can have. So these are going to come from, like I said, fruits and vegetables are very high in fiber. Some of your highest fiber fruit is going to be berries. So raspberries, strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, these are going to be really high in fiber for you. Some other high fiber fruits are going to be apples, bananas, pears are pretty high in fiber, oranges, kiwi is great for fiber as well. So a lot of fruit has decent fiber in it, but those are some of your higher fiber fruit sources. So maybe adding some of those into your diet a little bit more. Higher fiber vegetables are going to be some of your cruciferous vegetables, so broccoli, Brussels sprouts, those are going to be pretty high in fiber. Artichokes are high in fiber. I know that that is one that not many people have, and it's funny because I'm recording this, I just had artichokes yesterday at a restaurant. Something that you can do is, and what I usually try to do as well when I go out to dinner, is I try to get foods that I don't normally have at home so that I'm getting more variety in. So like last night, I had grilled artichokes as a starter. It was grilled artichokes and hummus, and gotten some artichokes. So I know that that's one that's not super popular. It's a little bit hard to make at home. You have to kind of get used to how to make it, but artichokes are a great source of fiber. Your leafy greens, spinach and kale, those are going to be great for fiber. Asparagus, these ones are all great fiber foods. Again, there's more vegetables with pretty decent fiber in them. These are just some of the top ones. Whole grains, the top whole grain for fiber is going to be oatmeal. I think it has 10 grams of fiber per serving or something like that. Like, it is pretty high up there. Another one is going to be quinoa and brown rice. Those are great for fiber. Some whole wheat breads have decent fiber in them as well. And then legumes and beans. So beans, going to be kidney beans, black beans, pinto beans, lentils are great for fiber. Peas, those are some great fiber sources. And then avocado is actually pretty high in fiber as well, so maybe adding some more of that into your diet. So I just wanted to kind of list out some of the foods that you can incorporate more of into your diet for fiber needs. So add some of those in, have at least one or two of the foods that I just mentioned every single day, and you should be better off. But again, just making sure that you're getting fiber in throughout the day, consistently having whole food sources and not just filling up on processed and packaged food items. So that is the first thing, high fiber diets. It is approved by me. I think we should be having more fiber for sure, so try to get that in. Second, kind of diet trend. So this podcast is just talking about nutrition overall, but this one's more of like a diet style trend, is the carnivore diet. Don't know about anybody else, but I have seen this all over from, I would say, late 2024 into up to now. And I've just been seeing so many like fitness influencers, and it's all over TikTok. Like, I don't know, again, if it's just because I consume fitness and health stuff on my pages all the time. So like, that's what I see, that's what's on my For You page and all of that. But I do see it everywhere. And so my thoughts on the carnivore diet. So first things first, carnivore diet is going to be heavy on the protein. Protein is super important. Absolutely. We definitely need to be getting our protein needs in every single day. It's going to help with bone health, lean body mass, helping you if you have weight loss goals, maintaining your weight loss. Like, it's really beneficial for, again, so many things. Protein is kind of the backbone of our hormones, so hormone production. Great for so many things. So protein is very, very important. It is necessary to get your protein in, and getting more protein in isn't necessarily a bad thing if you wanted to go carnivore diet. Like, the protein portion of that, not a bad thing, because you're getting more protein in, because that is the kind of highlight of the diet, is protein. Now, I think that there are some downsides to this trendy diet. So a lot of the foods that people consume on a carnivore diet are going to be higher in saturated and trans fats. A lot of the times when people do carnivore, they have things like bacon, processed meats, like hot dogs, just other processed meats in general. red meat, a lot more red meat, which is great to have. Red meat, I'm not discrediting red meat. Red meat is a great source of food and nutrients for the body, but having a lot of it has been linked to other issues, cardiovascular disease, etc. So there's a lot of red meat that's added for a carnivore diet. I feel like all the carnivore diets I see, it's like steak for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day, which is just a lot, again, of red meat. A lot more pork, a lot more cheese as well. So that's going to be higher in trans and saturated fats. And so you're having great protein, but you're also adding in a lot more saturated and trans fat into your diet. And that is not great for health purposes. It leads to higher LDL cholesterol, overall cholesterol, and can lead to some heart problems down the line if you are over consuming these things. So that is one of the things that I recognize, is that it's usually, and again, not everyone doing carnivore loads up on bacon and steak and cheese and like all of those foods, but a lot of the times when I see them on social media, that is what I see. So that's a downside. Another downside is that you do miss out on some nutrients. Again, this diet is heavy on the protein sources, low on the carbs, moderate on the fat, and so you are missing out on some key nutrients. A lot of the times with carnivore diet, people will lessen their intake of fruit and vegetables, again, because that's carb sources, and they just load up on the protein and just basically have protein and fat at all of their meals. And so again, you're missing out on the key nutrients from things like whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. So I do think that there's a piece to that as well, where you are missing out on some nutrients. Again, protein is great, glad you're getting that in, but I think having a more well-balanced diet with more fruits and vegetables and some whole grains in your diet is really beneficial as well. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And so those are just the two biggest downsides I see with that diet. So I don't think it's inherently bad to try out the carnivore diet. I think that there are positives to it, but you also just have to be aware of mainly the saturated and trans fats and the foods that you're having, how often you're having your red meat, and also making sure that you're getting in the essential nutrients from fruits and vegetables and whole grains as well. So trying to mix some of that in with the carnivore diet, which again is hard because carnivore is pretty low carb, high protein, moderate fat. So positives and negatives to that one. Take that as you will if you want to try it. There's, all the power to you, that's fine, but just bringing awareness to some of those other things. The third diet that I'm seeing become more and more popular is the anti-inflammatory diet. This one does get a thumbs up from me as well. Obviously, we want to not have inflammatory foods often, and so I think having or adopting more of an anti-inflammatory diet can have a lot of benefits. Now, in terms of inflammation is absolutely necessary for some things. Like if you get hurt, if you get a cut, whatever, if you get injured in any sort of way, your body does have an inflammatory response, which is necessary for you to heal. So inflammation is needed at some points in time. That's a natural process that our body goes through. However, again, we are seeing people super inflamed all the time from other things not related to an injury. And so that's where a problem lies. And so I think adopting more of an anti-inflammatory diet can, again, be very beneficial. This also is very similar to the Mediterranean style diet. Anti-inflammatory and Mediterranean style diet, they are very similar in my opinion. And according to some people, the Mediterranean diet is like the quote-unquote healthiest diet out there. It is basically just made up of whole foods and limiting the things that are bad for you, pretty much. So it's very similar with the anti-inflammatory diet again. So things that are positive with this, it's very high in fruits and vegetables, which is obviously great. You're getting a lot of vitamins and minerals from those two foods. It's high in legumes, which is also great for fiber. It's high in nuts. Healthy fats are great to have in your diet. Omega-3 rich fish it's high in, which again, a great one. A lot of people are deficient in omega-3, so great to add some more of those in. And it's also pretty high in whole grains as well. So a pretty well-balanced diet. You got your whole grains, fish, nuts, legumes, fruit, and vegetables. I mean, what more can you ask for? And this diet, the anti-inflammatory diet, also emphasizes to avoid inflammatory foods, such as fried foods, ultra-processed foods, added sugars. These are all things that can contribute to more inflammation in the body. So it really kind of avoids all of those things. There are definitely proven benefits to this diet as well. So again, just by knowing what the diet is made up of, the fruits, vegetables, whole grains, fish, all of that, just by listening to that, you know right off the bat that you're going to have pretty good health when you are loading up on whole foods, not processed foods, and you're having a wide variety in your diet. It has been proven to help decrease risk of cognitive decline as you age, which is great. And also, just touching on the inflammation a little bit more in terms of what that does, chronic inflammation can lead to heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and other issues. So obviously, again, inflammation is necessary for certain processes in the body, but too much inflammation, chronic inflammation, can lead to all of these things. Whereas if you adopt more of this anti-inflammatory diet, you can see less risk of Alzheimer's, dementia, heart disease, etc. So you're having less of a risk with all of these things. So another key point here that I want to mention, if you're watching on YouTube, you just saw Eve hopped up on my lap here. She was just purring into the mic, so again, you might hear that. But another thing to note with the anti-inflammatory diet is that it also does limit red meats. So again, red meat is good to have. There's a lot of nutrients in that. But again, it just is more aware of how much red meat you're having. It limits that a little bit and puts more emphasis on lean cuts of meat. So boneless, skinless chicken breast, turkey, just like, again, leaner cuts of meat, and fish. High emphasis on fish as well. So salmon, tuna, I mean, of course you gotta watch out for mercury in fish as well, but a lot of the omega-3 rich fish, which are salmon, sardines, mackerel, those ones are great. So the anti-inflammatory diet does get a thumbs up from me. Lots of benefits to it. And the fourth and last thing that I want to mention is more of, again, not a diet kind of trend, but it is a nutrition trend, and that is calming mocktails. Again, this really surged, I think, in 2024 and saw a bigger increase in this to up to now. This also does get a thumbs up for me as well. I actually do like this. I have calming mocktails quite often myself. And I think that this is great because it's another option for people to have. I actually see people turning away from alcohol more. So if you think about it, right, a lot of people will say, oh, I need a drink, or, you know, what have you. When they're stressed, they just say, oh, I need a drink, or I have a glass of wine every night to calm down. Well, that one glass every night to calm down may actually not be the greatest thing for you. I mean, there are some benefits to red wine, but again, it's alcohol, which is a poison to the body. And so I see a lot, what I've seen with this is that some people are turning from, oh, I need a drink after a stressful day, to let me have this mocktail, and it's loaded with different nutrients in there, and so you're getting a lot of benefit from it. So what is a calming mocktail? There's kind of two that I have seen, and I've tried them both, and I enjoy both of them. But one is an adrenal mocktail, and the other is, I don't know, again, if you've seen this on social media, but the second is quote-unquote a sleepy girl or sleepy time mocktail. So we'll start with the adrenal mocktail first. What is this? This is basically a mix of electrolytes, sodium and potassium, and vitamin C. That is the combination that you have in an adrenal mocktail. These nutrients help, as it sounds, your adrenal glands and the stress response that your body has. So that is what the makeup of an adrenal mocktail is. It helps to balance your minerals, and helps to maintain proper adrenal function, regulates the stress hormone production. So again, lots of benefits there from that. Vitamin C also specifically does help to repair damage caused by stress to cells and to other things. So again, lots of benefits from the vitamin C as well. Sodium, potassium, because again, it's basically vitamin C, sodium, potassium, those are like the key ingredients in this. Sodium and potassium help to maintain proper adrenal function and regulate that stress response. So you're getting the electrolyte balance of sodium and potassium for the stress response and adrenal function, and then from the vitamin C, you're helping repair any of that damage. So together, you've got a lot of benefits going on. There's several ways that you can make this, along with also the Sleepy Girl mocktail. Any like adrenal support mocktail, there's plenty of ways that you can make it. It's not a one size fits all. You can mix and match certain things. You can add your own flair. You can try different ones every night. It doesn't matter. But I'll give 2 examples of an adrenal mocktail, and you can take it oh my gosh, take that as you will, and use this as however you want. But one example is simply just half a cup of orange juice. So you're getting your vitamin C in the orange juice, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, so that's the sodium, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. So you're getting your sodium, potassium, vitamin C in there. That's really the only essentials that you need in this mocktail. So that is a very, very simple, basic way to have this mocktail. Now, if you want to spice it up a little bit, add some more flair to it. Another example that I have that I love, but it is 1 cup of coconut water, juice of a lemon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So again, you're getting in your potassium, your vitamin C, your sodium in there, all the essentials from there. I just enjoy this one. I like the coconut water. I like the lemon or lime. I like that flavor. I also have made this, and there's definitely a lot of add-ins that you can have for this, but I have made one as well that was, I haven't made this in a while, so I'm trying to remember exactly, but it was coconut water, aloe vera juice, some salt, orange juice, and coconut cream. Oh my gosh, it tasted like an orange creamsicle. If you like orange creamsicles, this drink, I'm not even kidding, tastes exactly like the orange cream. You're getting the creaminess from that coconut cream, and then you're getting the orange flavor from the orange juice. You got your salt in there for the sodium. It is amazing. Now that one, I would say, you know, when you're using orange juice and like the one I just mentioned with the coconut cream, maybe add in some other, like a protein powder or collagen or something like that, or have it with a meal, because it can cause a little bit of a blood sugar spike. So if you are someone who is aware of blood sugar regulation for whatever reason, then you might want to pair that with something and not just have it on its own. But it is great. It tastes so good. But like I said, there's other add-ins that you can have. You can add collagen for some protein in there to help, again, balance out that blood sugar. You can add protein powder. If you have like a vanilla protein powder, that could be good in there. Coconut cream is an add-in that I had just kind of given you for that third example. Gives you some fat, so again, balancing out that blood sugar response that you would have. So those are easy add-ins that you can add if you so choose to. Another thing with adrenal mocktails is there is an actual like easy option. So this person I follow, her name is Ileana, and I've mentioned her in one of my previous podcasts, but she has a brand called Live Healthily, where she has this website that she basically puts all of these like low toxic, healthy items, whether that's household items, beauty products, food. She just has like a website full of like healthy things, and she created her own like pre-made adrenal mocktail in the form of powder. It's called Minerals and Chill. So it basically is the combination of sodium, potassium, and vitamin C. That's what it is. It's just like a powder. So use it as like an electrolyte powder, kind of. You can just add it to water, mix it up, and you have basically an adrenal mocktail. that's already done for you. So that's another easy option if you didn't want to go and make one yourself. You could always do something like that as well. But that is the first kind of calming mocktail, is just the adrenal mocktail. And then also you have the Sleepy Girl mocktail that was a big trend again in like mid to late 2024. It's pretty similar. It does kind of the same. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Health Club with Julia podcast. If you loved the episode, share the podcast and tag me, and subscribe so you don't miss any further episodes. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM. Thanks for being a part of the club. See you next time.